All right, howdy. My name is Thomas Elliott. I'm a senior international studies major in the Entomology 322 summer class. Today I'm recording my debate solo because I was not able to reach my partner, so I emailed the TA. She said that's good. She gave me a format. What I'll be doing is defending the Cannibalfly, the red-footed Cannibalfly, against the Chinese praying mantis as a better predator. So I'll just go ahead and tell you a little bit about the fly, its biology, its range, what some of its prey is, and then I will go into one of the things that's really cool about it and why I think it's a better predator than the praying mantis. I'll give a little bit of backfeed on that, what I think that somebody that was defending the mantis may say, and we'll move from there. So the Cannibalfly is part of a much, much larger species. It's a robber fly, which has over 7,500 species around the world. It's found in every single region except Antarctica. In North America alone, it has over 1,000 species and can reach as far as the northern tundra in Canada. There's about 250 species in Texas alone. One of those is just this, the red-footed Cannibalfly. It's part of the subfamily Acelinae, genus Promachus, subspecies Rufipis, which is the red-footed. You'll hear me refer to it as a couple things. I may refer to it generally as a robber fly or as its more common name, the bee panther. I'll also refer to it as the name which was given in the debate, which is the red-footed Cannibalfly. So as I said, it's one of the larger species of the general robber fly family. It can grow up to 1.5 inches or so. It's even big enough to take down some hummingbirds. I'll tell a little anecdote about that later when I talk about its hunting prowess. The lifespan's about 1 to 3 years. It spends a year in that initial larva stage. The mother will lay it, and it takes about a year to go through the complete metamorphosis from the little larvae up to the larger fly, which looks a lot like a bee. Its range, like I said, is most of southern Texas. It's primarily resides in meadows and fields. A lot of people will find them in their gardens. They prey mostly off of some wasps, bees, dragonflies, other pest insects. They feed on some organic matter, but for the most part, they are predatory. One of the things that is really cool about them is that, like I said, they look a lot like a bee. So one of their main hunting techniques is to wait on the stalk of a flower that a bee might come to pollinate, and when the bees are approaching, feel comfortable because they think it's another bee there. The dragonfly or the robber fly will snap up and grab it. They have spines on their legs which allow them to snatch on and hold on to the prey, and they have a proboscis which comes out just under their chin, which is a sharp needle which they inject the prey with enzymes. The enzymes digest the innards of whatever prey they're after, and then they use that same proboscis to suck up the food. Some of the things that I know somebody may say about a mantis that would make it better would be that a mantis can sit for days on end awaiting their prey. One thing that I'll come back with against that is that the robber fly doesn't need to. The bee panther can wait, maybe 5-10 minutes and immediately get its prey, and it can move on to another stalk. And because it blends in so well, it doesn't have to wait for days on end trying to catch anything that goes by like the mantis would. It seamlessly blends in with its prey and can just get one after another until it's had its fill. And I think that's something that makes a really powerful predator, right? It's not something that's going to sit for days on end to get its prey, but something that can at any time make a move and get what it needs. One of the other reasons that I think it's a better predator is that it's really beneficial to mankind. There's a great anecdote I was reading on a blog post talking about the insect online, where a lady was in her backyard and she was taking pictures of bugs back there for her blog, and she saw the red-footed Cannibalfly. She had never seen one before, but it's this massive, terrifying-looking insect. So she's approaching it slowly, trying to get her picture, and it zooms off and flies by her head. So naturally she's terrified because she's used to, up in Massachusetts they're called deer flies, and they're big flies that have a tendency to go and latch onto a person and bite them. They'll leave a big welt on somebody. So she thought that she was about to get one of these big deer flies and give her a welt, but it turns out there was actually a robber fly coming by and it snatched the welt, or it snatched the deer fly away from her. And so she went on to make the joke that the robber fly may not be man's best friend, but it comes a close second to the dog. One of the last things I'll say about the robber fly that make it really cool, I think, is that they have a large field of vision and are much quicker than other predators their size. They're even able to take down hummingbirds. And so this wildlife refuge was telling a story on their website about a robber fly that they had seen. They heard some squeaks, and so they had seen a robber fly that had latched on to the much larger hummingbird because of its spiny front legs and was preparing to inject. There was a little bald spot, and after they had swatted it and helped the hummingbird back up, there was a little bald spot where it started to inject. There's been numerous cases where people have found these giant robber flies feeding on hummingbirds, and part of that is because hummingbirds don't have a lot of natural predators because they're so quick, but part of that is the robber fly, because of its much larger field of vision and its quick reactions relative to its size, is able to counter the hummingbird's speed, and they have a really fine-tuned honing system that's reactionary. And so as a hummingbird evades, the robber fly is one of the few predators in the world that's able to keep up in speed, and then because of its spiny front legs, it's able to latch on. Now, I know that also the praying mantis, people would argue that it has also been able to take down hummingbirds, and again, that's because the praying mantis will blend in and wait, and so robber flies have, the giant robber flies have hummingbirds as part of their natural prey, whereas the mantis, it really is, it's by luck, and it's a much rarer circumstance that it would occur. So that's it. That's why I think that the red-footed cannibalfly is a better predator than the Chinese praying mantis. Thanks for listening. Best of luck in your own debates and the rest of the class. Gig 'em.